Hey EO Xcentric, this is Steve DeStante, president of EO Long Island in New York, as well as your EO UN ambassador of entrepreneurship for the UN. So my role within EO is to educate, inspire, and celebrate entrepreneurs that are making a difference in the world, likely like many of you. We use the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, as our architecture to determine what is it that's interesting to us that we could incorporate perhaps into our businesses and into our lives in order to create meaning for our businesses and be able to have an impact on these goals. These goals go for 15 years through 2030. So we have a pretty good runway to be able to do some really impactful things. Hopefully you get some great ideas today. EO Global has put a blue bar in the middle of its eonetwork.org site, which says #EO Impact. That is where you click in order to tell your stories, share with us what's going on in your chapter, show some videos. We really want to see what impact EOers are having on the world, and that's the perfect place to do it. At the UN, there are some real powerhouses, and you're about to meet Chantaline Carpentier, and she's in charge of UNCTAD, trade and development pretty much. You know, third world countries really being able to bring resources and entrepreneurship to those countries for good. So with no further ado, Chantaline.
Good morning. My name is Chantaline Carpentier. I'm the chief of the UN Conference on Trade and Development here in New York. It's a pleasure for me to be with you through this video. Sorry I can't be with you. I've been asked to talk to you about the Sustainable Development Goal, famously known as the SDGs. And as you probably all know, they've been negotiated and adopted by all nations on this planet. And they do provide the compass for our economy, our finance, and our society that was missing. They were negotiated in a participatory and inclusive way with a lot of the business sector, the NGOs and others at the table, and they do aim to address the most pressing issues facing our humanity, such as economic disparity, climate change, political and social unrest, as well as, of course, as resource depletion. In Agenda 2030, our leaders acknowledge the diversity of the businesses, from the micro, small enterprises to the entrepreneur to the cooperative to the multinational, and called on all of them and all of us to apply their creativity and their innovation to solving the sustainable development challenges that we have. But at UNCTAD, we believe that only the businesses that will go beyond the simple mapping of what they're doing onto the SDG target will be able to capture these business opportunities. Only by applying a systemic approach, by looking at each of the target and then prioritizing those and looking at the interlinkages between them along with the synergies and the trade-off amongst them, will you have a transformational approach, reducing the costs of access not by 15 or 20%, but by 500%. And this is where the true value of these SDGs are. This is why we're so grateful for EO Xcentric committee and the 500 plus EO members that will be attending the Xcentric for your commitment to making a positive impact on the world. I have no doubt that the workshop that you will be engaging in the afternoon will be a great opportunity to take your idea about impact and start putting them into action and get on your way to define your contribution to the SDGs and do well by doing good. We have no doubt the SDGs are providing the framework to guide your vision and your passion, and we at the UN are here to support and empower you to make the difference that we know entrepreneur like no one else can have. Thank you.